Welcome to Roadmap to 1 Million. My name is Stacey Zeal, and if you're looking to make more money, gain your time back, and rapidly grow your visibility so that you can impact way more people with your brilliance, you're in the right place. This podcast is your one-stop shop for turning your online business dreams into a reality. My main goal is to give women entrepreneurs just like you the marketing strategies, guidance, and expert insights you need to hit that $1 million milestone and beyond. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, or an online brand that wants to make a big impact, Roadmap to 1 Million gives you the actionable strategies and inspiration you need so that you can implement right away, no fluff, no fuss. So CEO, are you ready to buckle up and accelerate your growth? Be sure to follow the show and let's dive in. Get ready to uncover your roadmap to 1 million. Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. Are you doing all the things but hit a revenue ceiling? You're building an audience, you're creating content and making sales, but you feel like something is holding you back from your next milestone. If that sounds like you, it's time to take our What's Your Missing Marketing Link quiz, your go-to tool to identify what's missing from your marketing strategy that might be holding back your business growth. Whether it's fixing your funnel or diversifying your efforts, this quiz will pinpoint those marketing missteps and guide you to success. Take the quiz today and uncover the missing link in your path to 7 figures and beyond. So head over to staceyzeal.co/quiz because success begins with identifying and fixing those mistakes. So don't miss out. Your business deserves to have the impact you desire. Visit staceyzeal.co/quiz. That's STACYZEAL.co/quiz to get a detailed report and the resources you need to help you grow. All right, let's jump back into the episode. Hey, y'all. Oh my gosh, we are live.
Yay.
Let me get Instagram going because Instagram is always the one that takes a minute to get going. But hey, y'all, I'm excited to chat today. We are going to be talking about marketing and operations, y'all. And so, the title is definitely something that I put it to be a little clickbaity because I want y'all to think that we're going to be talking about how one is better or worse than the other. But honestly, that's not the case. We're really going to be talking about how you need both. And we want you to walk away understanding whether, how to kind of give your business a self-assessment to understand, like, is it that you need to be focusing on more marketing at this point in your business? Or is it that, you need to be really kind of focusing on operations so that your marketing starts to work better? Because a lot of times, when I'm working with clients as their fractional CMO, I come in, we do our assessments and things like that. And we see that operationally, there are some things that need to, be improved, especially like on the marketing operations side, to be able to, one, make it so that, the CEO is not the only person that's creating content and posting their content, like making sure you have other, SOPs and things in place on how your marketing gets done. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, I want to make sure that our guest for today. So I'm going to let Shamandrian introduce herself first, and then I will let y'all know about me. And then we're going to go ahead and kick off the conversation. So excited to have you here, girl. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Could you tell everybody a little bit about you, your business, all the things, so we can, so they have that background?
Yes. First off, I am extremely excited. Like ever since Stacey and I connected, I'm like, this girl knows what she's talking about. Okay. When it comes to marketing. And so it's really cool to have the opportunity where we get to see, it's always either one or the other or kind of both, but you have to start in one place. And so I'm glad to have this conversation where we get to kind of help people figure out, okay, where am I bleeding from? So that I can really fix it. But my name is Shamandrian. I am a business growth strategist. I absolutely love working with women entrepreneurs that are building their legacies through entrepreneurship. I want you to be able to have a business that is profitable, but I also want you to be able to have your peace, your time freedom, abundance, all those things. And a lot of times we get caught when we start building this business. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going into this entrepreneurial space. I'm going to, sell my services or my consulting and things like that. And then all of a sudden, crap, you put yourself back into a job. And so I want you to, right. And I think we've all done it. If you have, really gotten into this wave after COVID and started to build something sustainable online, I'm pretty sure you woke up one day and was like, okay, crap, I work more now than I did in my job. And so I help you to ensure not only that you have a profitable business that allows you to have the income you desire and the time freedom that you deserve.
Yeah, I love that because that's a lot of the, reasons we started our businesses, right? Like, even though we want to have the impacts, we want to have people, help people with our expertise and our skills, but we do
Right.
also want to have that time freedom. Like, we don't want to feel like we are just so tied to our businesses that if we step away for a minute, that things are going to break. And I think that that
Exactly.
also happens with, people's marketing as well. Like, some, like a lot of my clients now, like my clients, one of my clients is on vacation now, right? Like marketing is still happening. We're still having our marketing meeting today, right? Like things are still going. And I think that a lot of business owners are on their way there. And I hope that this
Mhm.
conversation today can help them to, understand how to get there, even smoother by combining both of our expertise to make sure that you're attracting leads at scale and you're bringing people into your business every day. However, when they do come into your business, you're doing something with them, right? Like you have procedures and stuff like that in place to make sure that, they can convert into sales. So for a little background on me, for people who may be new to my world or just kind of getting to know me, my name is Stacy, and I own Stacy Zeal & Co., which is a fractional marketing leadership organization. So we help with business owners who are looking to scale, and we come in and we really sit between them and their marketing team so that the CEO's time, it can be focused on CEO's type of stuff, and
Mhm.
we can lead the marketing, we can bring our expertise, we can do the strategic planning, we lead the team meetings, all that kind of good stuff. We also specialize in Facebook ads. And so that's going to be a part of what we'll talk about today. In that when we come into a client's business, is we're trying to figure out like, how can we take what we're already doing and put it on a larger stage? And that's where Facebook ads and Instagram ads are shine really, really great for a lot of our clients. So we bring that expertise to the table and help them to really kind of figure out like, what is the roadmap to get to the next level? And how do I have the marketing that's going to meet me there? How do I have the operations that's going to meet me there? And how do I have the team in place that's
Mhm.
going to help us to get there as well? Because I know you've been talking about like a lot of delegation lately and stuff like that, so that's definitely a piece of it. So let's start by telling me a little bit about like some of the clients that you have now or people that you're kind of working with. What are some maybe like one or two things that are always coming up that are holding businesses back from being more profitable and scaling when it comes to like the operations of their business? Anything that's common right now that your clients are like struggling with?
Yeah, so let me think. A couple of the things that are typically holding people back from being able to scale is one, thinking that they are ready to let go, but not understanding how to do that, right? And so
Mm.
you hired a VA, or you've hired multiple people and you have them doing things that, kind of take time out of they that excuse me, some of the things that will drain your time. They're doing like the things that that you don't really want to do. However, that's not necessarily the thing that's going to get you your time freedom back. You have to hire the person that you have to give your baby to, and we don't want to do that. We don't feel that people are ready enough, or they can't do it the way I do it, or I have to watch everything that they do. I have to have my hands on all of the things. And when I see women entrepreneurs get to a space where, what, I can confidently give this over, then they can really be in a space where they can get their time back. Another thing is, not understanding where they're bleeding. Like you said,
Mhm.
like a lot of people, either they're like, okay, well, I want to ramp up, on the marketing. I want to bring all these things in. I want a strategy, but then they have gaps in reference to the other side. Like they don't have a streamlined process. Everybody's doing things differently in the company. No one knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And so if you send leads, which I know is going to get excited for you, if you send all of these people into a train that's not working, they're going to bleed through, and you're not going to be able to have that retention. You're not going to be able to continue to establish yourself as a leader, and you're going to feel like you have to do everything because you have
Yeah.
holes and gaps in your process. But yeah,
Yeah, I
all
love
of that.
all that because when I think about entrepreneurs right now, that are struggling with that, and some of the clients that are struggling with the things that I talk about. it comes down to not actually having their marketing processes documented. So not actually saying like, how do I create content or how do I get it out, right? Like, how do we get a blog post out? And even, when we're starting out, it's us, right? I'm the one writing the blog. I'm the one recording the podcast. I'm the one, doing all the content and writing the social media content. And I get that, that's where we have to start. But when you're thinking about scale, that means that your time as a CEO is going to be spent networking, is going to be spent speaking, it's going to be spent doing so many other things, but your marketing still needs to happen, right? Like, so you have to start to document how you do things, even if you haven't brought on that first marketing assistant or whatever yet. You need to start documenting how you do things. And one of the other things that kind of like trips me up, that's like when relates to what you were saying, is that a lot of people come, when you were saying like people have problem letting go of things because they think that they're the one who can do it and they're the only one that can do it. And I think about that when people say that they're not letting other people write their content because they're like, nobody can sound like me, right? Like, I can't trust my team to write my content because they can't sound like me. But my thing is like, as you scale, as you get bigger, you shouldn't be sounding like you. You should be sounding like your brand, and your brand is a collection of voices, right? Like the goal is not to get somebody on your team to be able to replicate exactly how you would say things and to be able to sound exactly like you and to respond, only with canned responses that you give them. The goal is to make it so that your brand is able to have a voice that, infuses, your sauce and your team sauce and everything like that. But it starts to sound like an actual brand rather than it's coming from one individual. And that's how you end up getting people who only want to work with you and not want to work with your company.
Exactly. And then the thing about it is, like, you get the opportunity to empower other people to be able to support you in your business. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. Like it, because I want my team to feel like they're a part of the journey, right? Like, we want our team to feel like they're a part of what we're doing and not necessarily like we're just telling them what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so what I was saying is you get the opportunity to train other people. Like, it's a gift, like you get to position other people to do something that they're absolutely amazing at. And you can show them, you can teach them, you can show them your voice and your audience and help them to learn. But it takes that preparation first. And like you said, having the SOP, having a very clear brand, documenting all of your steps, showing them and leading in an efficient way. Because if you are positioned to be a good leader and you've taught yourself, because not everybody's a good leader, sometimes it takes some training, but when you learned and understand how to be a good leader, then you can lead people that may not even have the same perspective or thing that you do. But when you're willing to be patient and you teach them and guide them, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it really, really makes a big difference when, like the comment on the screen when you're saying like, I don't want my brand to sound like me. It needs to have its own voice. And I think that that's where a lot of us are shifting to and where we're getting to, right? Like we're getting to that point where, we are hiring for people to deliver for clients for us, or we are hiring to have people to start to, take over our marketing, whether that's an agency or a freelancer or someone on your team, right? And so we have to stop thinking that we can get people to exactly sound like us. We have to start to think more like a brand. And I think, one of the things like, I learned when I worked at Zappos is that, when you work for any kind of brand, right? Like, there are standardized ways of doing things, right? There are ways of communicating with people. There are ways of doing things. But one of the beautiful things about working at Zappos is that there was a lot of, space to be able to infuse your own stuff on it, right? Like our call center did not have scripts, just like a lot of call centers have scripts, right? Like there weren't scripts, right? But it was more so we went through a training process to learn, and all of us had to, like even as someone who was on the marketing team, the first 30 days we had to go through orientation, and I was on the phones talking to people and answering, answering client, customer questions and stuff like that, because I had to start to understand, one, what it's like to work as a part of a team, as part of a brand. And so you have to learn a little bit about each different place. But you also see that there can be standardized procedures while having space for people to actually put their own stuff on it. So I don't know if any of your clients have, kind of going through that, especially with you're talking with delegating and stuff like that. Like what are some tips and things that you have for clients who are getting bigger and are struggling with that, with letting go and delegating to their team?
Yeah, when you look at the people that are on your team, we have to first realize that they are people, right? These are
Mhm.
people with gifts, with talents, with personalities, and things like that. And just like you have things that you're extremely strong at, and then things or other opportunities of growth, those people do too. And so when
Mhm.
we first start looking at people as people from the beginning and figuring out where they're strong, then we can figure out the best places that they can be on our team so that they can add value. Because it's one thing, like you said, it doesn't have to be that, you create a robot and you tell them you have to say it this way, you have to do it this way, and it has to be, scripted, because then we cripple their creativity. We
Mhm.
cripple the natural things that are inside of them that we may not even see that could, enhance our businesses. But when we start to really build relationship with team members, like I know right now most of us are hiring from overseas, and a lot of times you think that, oh, okay, well, this person, because there's a language barrier, this person just has to do this, just do this, but when you take time to actually get to know a person, build relationship, and I'm not saying be their friend, you still have to be a manager, you still have to be, the leader of your company, but starting building relationships to see where people are, to hear their ideas, sharing the culture of your company, sharing the vision of your company, sharing your ideas, and making people feel like they are a part of something that has a vision that they can be passionate about. You never know, what ideas may come out and how they can, creatively do what they do with their own sauce that still is in alignment with, what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful, because we we don't want to cripple people's creativity, like you said, right? Like, because, we start to see things through one lens. And like one thing I like tell my clients is that, we can't see the label from inside of the jar. And, we've built this, we know every piece of our business, we know how we want things done because we had to do it. But when it comes to communicating that things, to somebody else, right? Like, we need to be able to communicate it to them and have standardized procedures and how we do things, but still give them that space to have that creativity. So I love what you said about that. When do you think is the right time for someone, a leader, to start to kind of like invest in operational support? Like, and I'm talking about like, having someone, not necessarily hiring someone to be a part of their team, but like if they're considering, like, if they're trying to identify, like, if I am I having an operations problem right now? Like, what are
Mhm.
some things that they can kind of start to think about as far as like, is this the place that I need to start to invest, or am I having a different kind of problem?
Gotcha. When before it gets bad. And
Yeah.
so the reason I say that is because like we know when things start to feel like this isn't working for me. And when we start to look at our business and say, okay, this is not what I envisioned it to look like, I would recommend seeking someone, whether you're, at a space where you're going to invest. And so the benefit of working with someone like me that's a consultant in operations, not just someone who comes on your team and builds all the things, is that we're able to look at where you are, just like yourself. We can look at the business and say, okay, well, here are the gaps, and here's where you're leaking, so that we can apply pressure there, and you can identify, okay, this is what needs to be fixed first. And
Mhm.
so the moment that things start to look like, okay, my time doesn't look the way I wanted it to, which typical is a business, you're starting a business. My income doesn't look the way I want it to, which is typical when you're starting a business, but I don't see a way out of this. No matter,
Mhm.
I can't bring on more clients to bring in more money
Mhm.
because I'm completely tied in. And if
Mhm.
I try to take on less, then I feel like I'm gonna lose the money, or and those things. It's like I'm burned out, but I can't reduce time, otherwise the business will suffer. And so
Mhm.
when you start to feel and identify those things, typically it is some type of operational gap, or adjustment that needs to be made. And operations, it's not just my systems, my processes, my teams. It can also, when you're working with a consultant, be starting at just the package. Because if your package isn't in alignment with the vision that you have for your business, and it has to be clear. Like, if I start a business that will completely consume my time, but my goal and my desire is to be laying on a beach somewhere, no matter how much I put into, right? No matter how much I put into that business, if I don't shift the way I'm offering it to where it'll align with the amount of time that I want to invest, I will never be happy. I can be making hundreds and thousands of dollars. However, if my goal is time freedom, then I'm not going to be happy. And on the reverse side, right? If I know I want to impact many, many people and I want to be, in the process of everything, but I know that, um my business with the structure that I have will only allow me to serve a certain capacity or a certain amount of people. I need to adjust the way I'm serving so that I can get out and I can impact more. And so I feel
Mhm.
like when you start to recognize that this doesn't look like what I desire for it to look like, then it's time to talk to someone to figure out where the gaps are so that you can shift it from the beginning. And operations doesn't start when you hit a certain level in your business. When you
Mhm.
first start your business, you should be documenting your processes. You should be
Mhm.
figuring out, okay, how do I do this over and over and over and over again? You should be starting to identify the systems that you can put in place that will automate certain parts of your business, because we are
Mhm.
people. We will never be able to do all the things right all the time perfectly without having some type of systems and support in place.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so powerful, y'all. If you might need to go back and listen to that again because that was very, very powerful. In a sense that, what I'm hearing is that we get to this place where we feel like we are, either we have to let up on the gas, meaning we have to scale back on marketing because we can't take on more clients, because we take on more clients, our business is going to break. Or, we feel like, we have to, if we accelerate, then we're going to create a business that we really don't want. And so what we can do is in that, that space where we kind of like, it was coming to mind. It's kind of like when people are double dutching, you about to jump in, like before you jump in and go all in on marketing, right? Make sure your operations are straight and make sure that the vision and the way that you deliver your offer is actually aligned with where you're trying to go. And I'll say, like, for me, that is a place that where we're at, in a sense that, like, we do a lot of custom work. And so we're trying to figure out, I'm like, how do I make this less custom, right? Like, how do I make sure that we can, serve more clients and if everything is not falling on, having to go through me, right? Like, how do I bring on more team? And so for right now, we're so focused on, operations that is like our focus for, for streamlining that and getting that stuff put in place. But then on the flip side, I know that, sometimes I will have to, accelerate the gas on my marketing. And that's when ads come into place. That's when, some of these more longer term marketing strategies you could be working on, to start to build an audience and to bring people into your world, that's when you can start to do that, because ads will always be there. I feel like sometimes we think, like, if I don't run an ad right now, I'm failing or I'm never going to be able to. But
Mhm.
it's okay for you to wait to make sure that, you have the right messaging, you are structurally sound to be able to move hundreds of people through a process to becoming clients. And, you have a way of being able to track all that kind of stuff. So I love all that. What you said was just super powerful in helping people to understand that, your operations can really kind of make or break, whether your business matches your vision or whether you are just giving yourself another job. So I think that that's powerful.
Absolutely. And then, like, even when it comes to the marketing, excuse me, marketing side, those processes are extremely important too. Because if you have, like, a lot of times, some people, if you have the mindset of like a process person, then you want to get all of the things together. You want to make sure the experience is good, the website is good, the systems are good, you got things documented, you got, people in place, all these things are together, like the house is built. However, you don't know how to bring people in and you're not
Mhm.
bringing anyone to the table, then the business is still pretty much kind of broken. Like you have this
Yeah.
amazing thing built, but then you don't know how to attract people in and get them there, So that's
Yeah.
the other challenge. And that's why it's important that, people have people like you. You can be building something amazing, but if you don't know how to get people there so that they can
Yeah.
actually buy it, then you're still
Yeah.
going to be at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, what's coming up for me is like knowing the difference between when you need to hire a consultant and when you need to hire a coach. Because a lot of times, like, when people think about when I think that when you're just kind of just starting out and you really don't understand marketing at all, probably you need a coach, right? You need someone who can coach you through and tell you like what marketing is and give you that educational background that you need to be a business owner. Because as a business owner, you need to understand marketing, period. But you get to a point where you're growing, your marketing is working, you're making, you're generating more revenue and stuff like that. And then when you get to that point where you're like, how do I take this to the next level? How do I take what I'm already doing and put it on a larger stage? That's when you need to bring in a consultant, because a consultant can take a look at all of your data and all the things that you've done, can really understand where you're at now and where you're trying to go, and can give you a roadmap to going forward. So you really have to start to understand, like, whether you need a coach and you need someone to help you to understand how to do the thing, or when you need someone to say, this is the messaging, this is the content that you need to be creating, and this is how we take this and go forward. And it's based on your data. It's based on who your ideal client is and stuff like that. So I that's what I would say for, when to understand hiring, help for marketing, like, whether a coach or consultant. What would you say for operations? Like, are there operations coaches out there, or are y'all mostly just like, consultants?
So with the operation side, there's usually either the people that are implementers, the people who
Mhm.
do the done for you services, which is where I started. And then you have the people that are the consultants or coaches that can help you with the understanding. And it's more from a leadership perspective. So trying to understand which one you need comes down to, if you're in a place where you know that you have to focus on all of the CEO things, all of the leadership things, and you have no time to implement anything at all, then you probably need someone to come alongside you, come inside your business and build all the things out and it be done for you, right? If
Mhm.
you're in a position where um here's the caveat to that though. If you are in that space that you don't have the time and you need someone to come in and build the things out for you, the challenge becomes when a person can build the things, but you still don't know how to lead your people.
Mhm.
You still don't know or understand how to set boundaries and how to build company culture and how to create a mission and a vision that people can align with, and how to enhance productivity and ensure that this team can operate effectively, right? A person can come in and set up everything in your business and
Mhm.
make it run smoother, but you still at the same time as a leader need to know how to be able to manage these people well so that they can move towards the vision that you have. And so that's where
Yeah.
I come into play, because I'm not just working on looking at what's not working within the company. I'm also looking at what's not working within you as a
Mhm.
leader.
Yeah.
And so how can you, create this vision, and we figure out where the gaps are. We figure out what systems, figure out, the packaging, the support, the people, all those things. But then I also work with them from the perspective of the leader and working with their mindset, understanding how they can evolve into a person who can delegate when it's hard to let go,
Mhm.
understanding
Mhm.
how to evolve into a person who can be able to give constructive feedback and criticism when someone drops the ball, right? How
Mhm.
to set certain um, parameters within the company so that you're always encouraging your people and allowing them to make mistakes as they shift and pivot, but teaching them effectively. Like, how do I
Mhm.
pass this vision that I have on the inside of my head down to the people that are willing to support me in a way that they can see the vision and want to do it themselves, right? So
Yeah.
the consultant does both of those. We support, or we create the plan for how you're going to get to the space that you're wanting to go. But then we also support you as a leader in navigating how to get there.
Yeah. I love that, because that's really comprehensive. And I think, a lot of times, in these last like, few years, people have been trying to like buy pieces of the puzzle. Whereas now, people are starting to realize that they need a more comprehensive look at what they're doing. So they need the leadership training as well as, the team leadership and that kind of thing. Cause we have to get buy-in from the people who are going to be doing this stuff, right? It's not just enough, like you said, to have somebody come in and set up a system if nobody uses it, right? Like, like that is, stuff that we get into those trap all the time. We get somebody to come in and set up ClickUp, but then you go into ClickUp and there's no SOPs, there's no standard on how to do it. Nobody's using it. People are just kind of, using it at their own free will and doing it how they think that we should do it, right? So I see that all the time.
Yes, I do
But
too. I see
yeah,
that all the time. People spend a lot of money on systems. Systems are not cheap. They're meant to
right.
save you money, but it's an investment. And if you're
Yes.
not going to use it because your team is out of alignment and there's no leadership in place to make sure that the processes are going to look, that's a pretty penny to just throw out the window.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree. So yeah, this has been a great conversation. I'm so glad that we got to talk to people about marketing and operations, about how you need both of these things to drive your business forward. It's just about identifying, based on where you're at now, what you need to focus on before, you shift to really kind of putting your foot on the gas with the other thing. And so tell everybody how they can work with you, what you have going on right now, if they want to go deeper, connect further, that kind of thing.
Yes. So, right now, the offer that we are pushing forward is one of our new babies that I'm really excited that we just had the opportunity to release, and it's called Delegate to Dominate. And so, for the person who knows that you can be in one or two stages. Either one, you know that you're at that point where it's like this isn't working and I need to figure out how to bring on people, but I want to do it the right way. I don't want to bring on people and have to go through VA after VA after VA and it not work, and I spend money and I waste time and I feel like it's still not moving forward, right? I want to bring on people the right way. The other person is, I know that I am building something that is going to allow me to leave a legacy, and I want to make sure that I position myself in the right way from the perspective of leadership, from the perspective of how I bring people on my team, how I walk with people on my team, so that they can be able to execute this vision. Both of those people want to learn how to delegate the right way. You want to know what your vision is. You want to know how to get there, and you want to know how to build a team that's willing to walk with you in an effective and productive manner. And so our Delegate to Dominate program, it is, I don't say it's a coaching program. I don't say it's a course. It's a leadership lab. It's 6 weeks of you walking with me to train you, to give you the insight on how to delegate effectively, but then also you get me looking inside your business. So it's a very small container, and we start identifying those gaps and figuring out how you can start implementing the systems, the processes, but also building yourself so that you can be a great leader and you can delegate and dominate in your business. So that I can drop the link
Mm-hmm.
in the chat. It's bit.ly/delegate to dominate. I still use bit.ly's. I'm in love with them. I'm still gonna use them. But it's bit.ly/delegate to dominate. You can register there for that 6-week container, or you can get on my calendar and we can do a consultation if you need more. I do my team, we do still do implementation. However, it is an investment and you still get consulting support because I feel like that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you feel like you need more, then I'm available for that as well.
Love that. Yeah, definitely make sure y'all check the chat or the comments for the link. For anybody listening to this on the podcast, you will also have a link in the show notes. So you can just go to the show notes and get the link there. And if you're looking for marketing support and you really kind of thought, listen through this episode and realize that, your operations are at a pretty great place and you're looking to accelerate and take things to the next level and get more people into your pipeline, definitely want to reach out to me and let's start a conversation via DMs, because what we do as fractional CMOs is we help clients to identify identify their growth opportunities and really kind of figure out like what is it that they need to focus on to be able to take things to the next level. And so we dig into your data. We will, look at your audit your marketing and give you some actionable insights and those kinds of things to help you to understand how to improve your presence now. We'll tell you what the messaging should be. We tell you what the content strategy should be, all that kind of good stuff. And it's very collaborative in a sense that we're not just going to lock you into a strategy and tell you to, go away. It's more so like we collaborate, we figure out the best strategy for you, leaning into your expertise and our expertise, and we really create something special and customized for you. So you can go to staceyzeal.co/sprint to learn more about our marketing sprint, or send me a DM and we can start talking about, what the best next step is for you. I also do 90-minute strategy sessions if you are looking for just like a quick, like, hey, can you help me to plan this out? And I'm also creating something cool for planning out Q4. So if you are looking to work with me in a group setting, you want to create a plan for Q4, make sure you're following me, get on my email list, all the things, because then I will be sending out invites to a special session to work with me to plan out your Q4 marketing plan so that Black Friday and all the holidays that are coming up, you can do your best. So that is what we got for y'all today. I hope that y'all learned a lot from this. Let me know if you're watching the replay, and let us know what you thought about this episode. Either way, I think that this has been a fantastic conversation. So thanks again, Shamandrian, for coming. Thanks for dropping all your wisdom. All the links and everything will be in the chat or the show notes. And I'm going to go ahead and close it out here, y'all. Have a great day. OMG, that episode was packed with gems. Are you ready for more? Head over to staceyzeal.co/podcast to get the show notes and to sign up to get our top 5 podcast episodes to help you streamline your marketing so you can make this your $1 million year. Head over to staceyzeal.co/podcast.